Moin Leute, was geht ab? Ich habe euch mal die ganzen COD Next Gameplay-Schnipsel aus der Warzone zusammengefasst und in Zukunft findet ihr hier auch jede Menge neues Zeug zu MW2, einen Haufen Content. Ich freue mich schon drauf. Wenn euch das Video gefällt, lasst einen Kommentar da, ein Like und ein Abo. Ich würde mich freuen. Mazrah City. Sieht gut aus.
So when we set out to create these spaces, the team works to make it feel like a real
Fortress
space,
war
right?
ganz
So that
unten.
there's infrastructure in between all the different what we call points of interest along the
Quarry,
map.
oben
And if you're
links.
paying attention, you might even see a few that seem pretty familiar out there as well. And so as the team works through these, they're trying to find some variety on each
ziemlich open.
point of interest to make them something that the players will want to drop in to
Observatorium
get the
war.
particularity
Also so
of
weit
that
oben ist
single
das
point
gar
of
nicht, wie ich
interest and
dachte. Das
find
ist
the
gut.
place that they want to drop and where they want to play, whether it be a high elevation observatory at the center of the map, whether it be the big city that's up the top right, and whether they want to explore that, or whether they want to work in some of our POIs where we have water intersecting with geometry here.
Airport,
So we have in this one.
Ooh, that looks familiar.
That does seem familiar. And there's a river system that
airport
goes through all
eingebaut.
of this. So you'll be able to catch in a boat and drive between the different POIs. And here's one of our favorites, Sawah Village, which is
That's my favorite.
colloquially
Yeah.
called Sunken Town.
I mean, I love to swim,
Wow.
so you find me there.
Die Stadt, die halt in der Wasser
I'm
ist.
curious what you guys think, Jack and Joe, on what the hot drop will be.
The slide, the dive, the water, like,
More swimming.
yeah. Oh. This is a great taste of some of the water combat.
I can't wait to go full Captain Miller, you know, Apocalypse Now coming out of the water, knifing people. I mean, this just looks...
Yeah, the rendering team made some work. So you come out, you're looking all wet.
Yeah.
See the caustics on the bottom.
Yep.
I'm not even sure what caustics are.
I,
I have no idea, but it sounds great and it looks incredible.
You can see the armored patrol boat coming by there with its two turrets. There's some cool stuff.
So I'm glad you brought up vehicles. Steph, you touched on vehicles a little bit earlier. What can we talk about? You know, we've seen boats, we've seen tanks, we've seen all sorts, Jack. What have we got?
So we've implemented a new physics and handling model for the vehicles. So some vehicles are heavier, some will slide more, have more traction or less traction. And as you're driving them around and you're encountering them and other squads are playing with them, you can choose to shoot off the tires to kind of impact their handling. You can have them, they react to explosive differently based on their weight. So if you're in a heavy armored 4x4 and get hit by an RPG, it's going to kind of bounce a little bit, but not quite take the hit.
To move away from it. So we kind of talked about what could we do to mix things up with the circle. So we've got this new mechanic where the circle can actually split, almost like a cell splits into 2, 3, or even 4 circles. And then those circles kind of close down. And what it does is it segregates teams, and you have these micro battles in those circles. And at a certain point, you're like, okay, we've cleared out our circle. We think we're good. And then those circles merge. They come back together, and you have this very directed fight of like, as this... But the current version of the Gulag that we have running right now, where we're excited people to play, is you're not in there alone. You actually have this temporary alliance with another opponent in the map.
Is occupying inside Al Mazrah in BR. And the players can choose whether or not they want to engage with them and assault them to get cool rewards, including free loadout items, which is one of the new ways that we're adding for players to get their hands on that best
scheint
weapon.
stark zu sein.
We've worked really hard to bringing AI at scale into Warzone 2, and you're going to encounter them in multiple modes in different way. In BR specifically, they're in these strongholds, and if you get to a stronghold, you can find the location of a black site, which is going to have even cooler stuff in it, and you can fight your way from one to the next.